Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Amna Khan, MDS Oral Maxillofacial Surgery. We were discussing about digestion and absorption. Let's continue with that. Discussing about the anatomy of the digestive system. Let us get familiar with some terms such as pharynx, esophagus, epiglottis. Pharynx. The oral cavity leads to pharynx, which serve as a common passage for food and air. Esophagus, also known as food pipe. It is also sometimes called as the gastrointestinal tract. The esophagus and the trachea opens into pharynx. You cannot see the trachea here. The larynx is the part of the upper respiratory tract. As we move down to the lower respiratory tract, the larynx continues into the trachea. The epiglottis. It is a cartilaginous structure overhanging the entrance to the larynx. Now, what happens while swallowing? The action of swallowing closes the opening of the trachea by the epiglottis. The epiglottis stands open during breathing, allowing the air into the larynx. Thus, it acts as a valve that diverts the passage either to trachea or the esophagus. Now, here in the figure, you can see the bolus of food moving down. Thus, the epiglottis closes the passage to the trachea, forcing the food to the esophagus. Now, that's why you are told not to talk while eating. It may lead your food to the trachea. The esophagus extends posteriorly, passing through the neck, thorax, and the diaphragm, and leads to a J-shaped bag called as stomach. Here are the part of the stomach. This opening from the esophagus, the cardiac sphincter, the fundus, the pyloric sphincter, and this is the body of the stomach. Now the cardiac sphincter. Now as you see the cardiac sphincter, or you can also refer it as the gastroesophageal sphincter or the cardioesophageal sphincter. Now what is actually a sphincter? Sphincter is a circular muscle that maintains constriction of a natural body passage or orifice and which relaxes as required by the normal physiological functioning. So here the cardiac sphincter prevents the acidic content of the stomach from moving upward into the esophagus, the dysfunction of which will lead to heartburn. And if it occurs more commonly, it may lead to gastroesophageal reflux disease. The cardiac portion opens into the fundic region and the pyloric region, which further opens into the first part of the small intestine known as the duodenum. The small intestine is distinguishable into three regions: the duodenum, jejunum, and the ileum. The small intestine in human is about 6 to 7 meters. The first part, duodenum, is U-shaped and is 25 to 38 centimeters. Then comes the long coiled middle portion, the jejunum, which is about 2.5 meters. Then the ileum, which is 2 to 4 meters long. The opening of the stomach into the duodenum is guided by the pyloric sphincter. Similar to the cardiac sphincter, the pyloric sphincter controls or act as a valve to control the flow of partially digested food from the stomach to the intestine. The large intestine. The ileum opens into the large intestine. The large intestine in human is about 1.5 meter. It consists of cecum, colon, and rectum. Cecum is a small blind sac which hosts some symbiotic microorganisms, then which continues into the vermiform appendix, which is a vestigial organ. The cecum opens into colon, and the colon is divided into ascending, transverse, and descending parts. The descending colon is further opens into rectum, which further continues to anus. Let us learn about the wall of the alimentary canal. The wall of the alimentary canal from the esophagus to the rectum possesses of four layers: the serosa, muscularis, submucosa, mucosa, and lumen. The serosa is the outermost layer, this layer, and is made up of mesothelium. Mesothelium is the epithelium of the visceral organs, along with some connective tissues. Next comes the muscularis, which is formed from the smooth muscle, and it is usually arranged into an inner circular and outer longitudinal layer. This layer and this second layer is muscularis, the inner circular and the outer longitudinal layer. Also, an oblique muscle layer may be present in some of the regions. Now, next comes the submucosal layer, which is formed from loose connective tissues containing nerves, blood, and lymph vessel. In duodenum, glands are also present in this layer, the submucosal layer. The third one is the submucosal layer. Finally, the last layer is the mucosal layer. The innermost layer lining the lumen of the alimentary canal is the mucosa. This layer forms irregular folds in the stomach and small finger-like foldings called as villi in the small intestine. This figure of the cross-section shows all the layers: the serosa, the muscle layer, the submucosal layer, the mucosal layer, and the villi. And this portion shows the expanded portion of the villi. Now let us learn something about villi. The cell lining in the villi produces numerous microscopic projections, which are known as microvilli, giving it a brush border appearance. Villi are supplied with network of capillaries and a large lymph vessel, which is also called as lacteal. The mucosa also form glands in stomach. These are gastric glands and crypts in between the bases of the villi in the intestine. Here you can see the crypts at the base of the villi. Now what are these crypts called as? These are called as crypts of Lieberkühn. Now these crypts secretes intestinal juice. All the layers of the alimentary canal have different modification in different part of the alimentary canal. The rest of the portion of the alimentary like digestive system will be discussed in the next lesson. Thank you.